League of Legends is becoming more and more global by the day. That should be evident by the fact that we are getting 3 international events this year, one of which still lacks a little bit of weight, but regardless, 3 international events, more international play, which means your regional representation is going to be more important than ever, but you also want to make sure your narratives are getting into the wider audience. Now, why do I bring this up? Because it's time for me to set my goals for 2025, and that's an important part to keep in mind. Every creator should have their numbers or metrics that they are trying to achieve, which last year my goal was to hit 5,000 on every platform. YouTube, Twitter, add a zero, 50K on TikTok. Twitch was a little bit of a weird one that never really ended up happening. I mean, I did stream a lot, but it didn't really grow all that much. Everything kind of remained stagnant. But nevertheless, like in terms of whether I achieved my goals or not, YouTube, I fell just short. It was a lofty goal. I was hoping for a lot. Unfortunately, it just didn't come quite close. Things picked up more towards the end of the year, but it just was not enough to get there. Twitter 5,000, I don't think I'll ever fully understand how to grow on Twitter. You just talk about the things that you like, and if people follow you, they do. So setting benchmarks here, while good to still have, it's tough to understand how to hit them. And TikTok 50K, luckily, I was able to hit that out of the park. We hit 53K by the end of 2024, which I'm incredibly proud of. Probably the biggest one that I was hoping for. But going into 2025, the question becomes, what's next? What goal do I set for myself? What benchmarks am I trying to achieve in a year that is going to have a lot of uncertainty? So let's talk about the numbers first and then how we get there. Because I think it's important to set your goal first and then discuss like how you're going to do it. You need to have like an end of the road in mind, but then like build the road as you're trying to go. It's not one of those where you can just say, hey, this is the highway that you take and that's it. It's not how social media and content creation works, unfortunately. 2025, I'm going to call the year of the eights, and this is going to be challenging on many fronts, but I think it could possibly be done. 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. What that would mean is pretty much doubling, well, a little less than doubling my following for this year, but doubling the amount of growth that I saw in 1 year. I gained about 2,300 subscribers on YouTube. Now, obviously, everything's kind of a curve with social media. Once you start picking up steam, you tend to gain a little bit more, but there is a plateau point that you hit. But for YouTube, I'm hoping that I can keep riding this momentum. The content will be good, and we hit 8K. For TikTok, 80K seems like a lofty goal. I don't know how possible that is, given that I think I gained like 10,000 followers in 2024, but my content plan is going to shift a little bit, so I think it's important to set a higher benchmark. And for Twitter, 8,000. If I hit it, great. That number's kind of just a throwaway at this point. I don't even know. But the question becomes, how do you get there? How do these numbers become a reality? Because you can't just say, hey, I'm going to hit 8,000 subs on YouTube and then just put out random videos and it be fine. Like, you need to have a benchmark. You need to have like something in mind. And my goal this year actually comes on the back of something that Papa Smithy said in the Crossover podcast earlier this week, or well, last week. Papa said there's not enough root level interest to grow a breakthrough star in NA, but you can cultivate local talent that captures the world's attention. And then NA is a part of the world. So basically, yeah, you go international and you bleed in.
Yeah.
We were talking about players, and it's a video that I did on Friday talking about like whether we have superstars in North America or not. And it's a reality that I've come to learn and understand in many different ways, that at this point, as an individual creator, it is best to try and shoehorn yourself into international and have an NA bias or narrative with you and be like the voice of NA fandom or NA something, but speak to everybody rather than just trying to grow NA on its own. Online, at least, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that quite anymore. I mean, the players might have that opportunity, sure, because they're on stage, but like as a content creator, I don't think you're going to be able to grow just focusing on NA LoL esports. NA League in general, sure. But like, I'm LoL esports focused. I kind of need to widen my umbrella a little bit, which is what I started to do towards the end of 2024 when it came to Worlds and international play. So how am I going to do this? Well, on TikTok, the plan is pretty simple. Every morning that games are played, I'm going to upload a video that kind of recaps the day's games, similar to what I did for Worlds, and have it be like, you know, Good Morning LoL Esports or something. GML, Good Morning League, I don't know. There's actually only like 10 games if you think about it. 2 LCK series, 2 LTA series, both North and South, so that's 6. And then LEC is 2 as well, unless they do like best of ones, of which then you can cover them pretty quick. 10's really not all that much to fit into like a recap video, and then in the afternoon, I'll talk about the narratives that I personally find interesting and the stories that I want to tell within the space. Now, will this take some attention away from North America, possibly, on TikTok at least? Yeah, sure. But like, I know the viewership numbers. And if you can talk about NA in the context of like LCK and LEC, then it'll be more relevant and people will actually hear about it a little bit more. But if you're just trying to focus on NA, viewership on that has never been good. Never has been. It's not saying that I'm chasing after numbers themselves, but like, if you want to grow, you do have to pay attention to that type of stuff. You have to see what's effective and not. And just talking about NA, unfortunately, doesn't grow anything. You're just speaking to the same echo crowd that you've always kind of had. I personally believe that those growth opportunities actually lie more with in-person events, but I'll get to that with the event planning section of this. Now, my favorite series that I do on this channel is a show called The Rendezvous. It's a 100 Thieves fan series. I up the intro quality for this year pretty heavily, and then it's still just going to be discussion, talking points around everything that is 100 Thieves. But as many of you know, we are pending a decision from Riot Games on whether 100 Thieves is even going to remain in League of Legends long term. We have no clue. So what my plan is for now is the Rendezvous will still just be about 100 Thieves for the time being. But the moment that I get word that 100 Thieves is likely gone, that Riot has decided to give their slot to somebody else, and we find out whether like 100 Thieves will remain in tier 2 or not, the Rendezvous is going to swap over to being a My Fandom series in a way. Like, it's a point where all of my fandoms across LoL esports rendezvous together. That means I'm going to talk about K-Corp because, yes, I've picked my LEC team. It is K-Corp. Sorry, G2 and Fnatic fans. Not my problem. I like what K-Corp is doing. I'll save that for whenever the time comes. It'll cover my LCK team of choice, of which I have not revealed that yet. That will actually be its own video next Monday, where I dive into all the different fandoms and brands around the LCK and tell you what team I am going to invest my support in. I like having a team for each region. Same way I have a Vikings fandom and a Steelers fandom, a NFC and AFC team. And then it will still cover 100 Thieves until they are gone, of which then I also just get to document the journey of me like finding a new home within North America and talking about the fandom that I want to build and see where my home will eventually be. Because the sad truth is that I just have no clue. And you have to prep for the worst and hope for the best. So we'll see what happens. But nevertheless, a Rendezvous will be here all year. So long as any of my teams are in it, that's going to be what it's about. And I feel like that's a good way to kind of manage my YouTube channel, because then Mondays will be like reactions to the individual games, like watch alongs that I put gameplay with, because I'm not league partner, so I still can't co-stream 100 Thieves games themselves. So I'm kind of screwed there. But I'll still edit all the clips together. It could still be fun to watch. Or if there's anything that I want to put out commentary-wise, fine. So it's still 3 videos a week on YouTube each and every week. It's what allowed me to grow to this point and what will hopefully allow me to grow even more going into 2025 and hit that goal. So you have the kind of like general commentary, you have like the diehard fan side, and then you have the NA guy side of things, because the pit will still be the pit each and every Friday, solely about the LCS, the headlines, the storylines, interviews with players mixed in. It's a fun series that I enjoy, and I hope you do too. I think that kind of covers social media for the most part, other than like Twitch, where it's like, currently I'm nowhere close to getting Twitch partner, and like that was a goal that I thought that I might be able to set for myself, but it just doesn't seem realistic to jump from like what, 8 average viewers to 75. That's not a realistic goal. I think it would also be to double it. So let's keep that roll of 8s. Let's go from like 8 average viewers to 16 on Twitch. I think that's like a fair goal by the end of 2025. Now let's get to the fun part. The one that I actually think can grow North American League, or at least League fandom, so long as like I'm not part of an org and we don't do like watch parties at a specific bar for every single match that is played. I think the best way to go about that otherwise is still watch parties and in-person events here in New York City. So I have 2 goals with this. One is a continuation of last year, which is continue to watch parties. And yes, I've already planned out the split one watch parties in terms of the dates. These are the ones I'm locking in. I've got a location set for Sunday of week 3. I'm pending locations for week 1 and week 3. I'm working on those, and we'll have a full video or short on its own that will tell you where the locations of these watch parties are for each split. Finals, I always will try to make a fun event. But the second goal that I want to do with this is I want to directly work with Riot or some other big partner for a LoL esports event watch party, or like something like bigger than just like me going to a bar and doing that. Like I want to have like something like the Terminal 5 event that Riot held for Worlds this past year. I want to work with Riot, with Red Bull, with whoever the hell wants to help me put this on. I want to have a bigger event. Now, we need details on dates for like obviously Worlds and MSI, which only Riot knows, which is why I'm assuming this partnership would be more with Riot than anybody else. But like, if I want to help grow New York City's League of Legends scene, like let me help promote this. Let's do on the street content talking about all this stuff to get people to show up. Let's like do anything and everything that we can to grow this scene and give as many events here as humanly possible. Because again, at the end of the day, I want an annual New York City League of Legends event. I want that to eventually happen. So I think this is a nice step to keep building towards that goal, which will grow North American fandom better than most online content would. That's where I think like the true NA pride comes in. You see like me walking around New York City talking about League of Legends, like come on, that'd be fun. And then I have two personal goals. One is the exact same as last year because I didn't get it done. I want to hit Diamond or win the low budget LCS. One of the two. The low budget LCS format has changed a little bit. I'm going to have a full separate video on that later this month on what's changing, what's going to be fun. It's difficult for me to make like individual videos, especially like during the LoL esports season about that. That's more like stream content and just something that I do for fun on the side. But even though I'm hard struck gold right now, still trying to be better than Ludwig, I still believe I can hit diamond. And the second personal one is to be a better partner. That is obviously in terms of my personal life, but also in terms of content as well. In terms of personal life, my wife and I are actually, hopefully by the end of this year, if I get a promotion at work within like the next 6 or 7 months, we're going to be trying to have a family, hopefully. So knock on wood, hopefully everything goes okay. We just have to get, the reason why we're waiting is we have to get in a financially secure spot first before we can do that. So once that time comes, time to go to work. But also be a better partner to those that partner with this channel, content creators in the space. I want to do more. Now, I haven't officially received the contract yet, but as some of you will see like in the outro, I'm still leaving the Powered by Elgato thing in. I did get word that we are being re-upped for 2025. We're still going to be with Elgato for another year, but I want to level up what I do for them. I want to be a better partner for them because I do see all the numbers of like the clicks that you drive, the affiliate links that are talked about. Like obviously every time that you click my like Elgato partner link down below, which by the way, you get 5% off any products on the site, that is tracked. And that is a valuation of how good you are at like developing a community that not only supports you, but supports the brands that you support as well. This entire video is made by Elgato stuff, by the way. The camera, the mic, the light that's keeping me lit right now, all of it, same thing. So it makes sense for them to be a key partner for me, but I have to drive value for them, and Elgato needs to be a name that people associate with me as well. So I need to do a better job of being a better partner for them going into next year and just continuously improve. That's not saying that I did bad in 2024. It's just saying that I always want to do better. But ultimately, the main theme and goal of 2025 is just navigate the uncertainty that is to come and prep for 2026. Because one thing that could undermine this entire video is the TikTok ban. If it goes through, which we have no clue what's going to happen with the Supreme Court and Trump taking over as president, if that gets banned, that completely negates a large portion of my social media following, of everything that I have here, and also does cut a large chunk of change away from my pocket and being able to save for that family and pay bills and everything else that we got going on. Content very much has become like an actual paying side hustle for me. And I'm honored to be in that position. But I also need to keep in mind that like that could be stripped away at a moment's notice. Same thing for 100 Thieves potentially leaving the LTA. I've branded myself as like the 100 Thieves fan, the diehard super fan, because I am, bluntly put. And if that goes away too, it's like, okay, well, two of the things that made me who I am to a certain extent as a content creator go away, and that's going to be tough to navigate. And this year very much feels like 2021, where you are prepping for what is going to be a massive 2026, because Worlds will likely be in North America, given that MSI is going to be in Canada this year. So everything feels like it's kind of building towards this big moment that happens every 4 years for us here in North America. So I want this year to just be like, get your feet set, get everything ready, and then hit 2026 with literally everything that I got and make it one of the biggest years of LoL esports for NA ever. It's a 4-year cycle every time. We build up to 2026, we reset, and then we build up to 2030. Like that's going to be the pattern that has to happen each and every time when you're looking at like these massive windows. So that's it. That's my goals for this channel, everything that I want to achieve in 2025. And hopefully we can kind of become the NA League guy on the international side, because you got Dom who becomes an LPL fanboy. Kadril is Kadril. Like there's nothing else to be said there. He also owns his own org. He's the EU guy, but also just a lot bigger than that. But I don't feel like we have, I don't know, a proper NA representative on some of the bigger scale conversations when it comes to co-streamers, creators, etc. Like the influence of Doublelift and others has fallen off, and our biggest personalities in NA are vocal supporters of other regions as well, even if they are affiliated with NA teams. So it's like, why not be that NA guy who's willing to wear an American flag from the jump? Because I can't guarantee that many others would be, regardless of the highs or lows that we have. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.